Hello everyone! Okay, we've been having technical difficulties. Let me just get this new one open. What a great morning, right? Starts out awesome. Here we go. Okay, that's okay. We're gonna keep going. The show must go on. Back in live chat. Alright. I don't know what happened there, but totally fine. We got this. So, zoomed out, you can see she looks really funny without eyelashes, but otherwise, she's coming along. Let's do hello. Thank you, ladies, for migrating over. That's the nature of live shows. Yay! Joe Beth. I know, right? I'm not immune to that either, but that's okay. You know, it is what it is, and it's not that hard to restart a stream, so it's just, I don't know what happened. The app crashed, and things went haywire. Thank you, Karen. Hi, Heather, Sammy, Joe Beth. Hello. Thank you, ladies. All right, so let's just get right back into it. We were working in this area, I believe. So I love Hannah Carlson's books so much, but the one thing I don't like so much is the black outlines, how dark they are. And this is a question I get all the time. So I feel like through the years of learning, I used to use white gel pen and all that, but it doesn't last. So through just experimenting and trying new things, I just have to say I think the acrylic paint is really the best way. Especially if you want to get a perfect color match. I know it can be intimidating, but you guys saw I only use a small handful of colors, and I'm going to show you each time how I mix them, so hopefully it's more approachable. Okay, so this color, it has a lot of blue in it, this right here. So let's mix up a new color here. Yeah, I love this page except for that, so that's okay. We're gonna get it done though. I think it'll look fairly good when we're done, hopefully. Alright, so I just mixed in some burnt sienna into like this. I already had titanium white and burnt sienna in this mix, and I just added more burnt sienna and this cerulean blue to make sort of like a muddy blue color. I think that's going to be a good match, but again, you know, if you're not sure, just swatch and then hold it up, and yeah, that's a fairly good match. So let's try that. It might dry darker. Yeah, oh yeah, darker for sure. So I'm gonna mix in a little bit of blue. The titanium white will dull down the vibrancy of the color, so we're gonna just mix in a little blue and a blob of white, maybe a little more blue. Let's see how we go with that. Okay, it's lighter than the area around it, but I think that might work great. When it dries, it'll dry just a shade or two darker. Let's just kind of dab that off a little. Hi, Darla. Hello, Heather. I'm a wizard dress? I'm a wizard. Wizard dress? Wizzy. I'm a wizzy. Oh wait, that sounds wrong. I didn't wizzy. Oh gosh, guys. I'm so goofy. I'm gonna take the same color that we were using over there. Moving on. I just touch some of these circles over here that I think need a little more blue. Thank you. Wizard dress. I've never heard that before, Sammy. But thank you. Okay, what's next? Oh, okay. This eye here. So you see over here, I want to take the same dark blue and just get rid of this edge here, right there. And remember, it dries darker, so don't freak out if it looks too light. We're going to be okay. And then I also just want to gently get rid of this outline here. Now remember, we're going to go in with eyelashes at the end. Okay, hopefully that looks right when it dries. Hey, luckily I did not whiz during that stream, Leslie, so that's good. I can still hold my whiz. Oh man, this devolved really quickly into potty talk. That's fine though. Okay, so let's zoom out and see how she looks. You like that, Kathy? Okay, so these areas we just put down, we might need to add a little bit of darkness to them. Oh, don't ever worry about me laughing a lot. I do that all the time. I'm always giggling. So these right here dried a little too dark, so let's go over those really quick. So I'm just gonna add some titanium white to some of my burnt sienna. Let's see if we can match this a little bit better. I think I need more white. Where is the white? There it is. When you reuse your palette several times, sometimes it's funny. You don't know where you're trying to get paint from. Okay, that looks like I have some blue mixed in by mistake. It's okay. My bad. Let's try that again. Oh, that's cool. I have not seen that show. But, okay, cool. So we have some burnt sienna over here. I just plopped some white right down into that. That should be a nice bright color. I'm happy to be your giggle box, Sammy. Yeah, that's much closer, although I think it might be still too dark. Let's just add a little bit more white. Okay, let's see how that goes. Let's see how this goes. So just patience, trying it out until it gets the right color. Color matching is tricky even for very experienced artists, so do not feel frustrated if you don't get it right on the first try. Since there's a color shift that happens when the paint dries, it's also even more tricky. But that's okay. You know, we will get there. Thank you, Starbuck. Hello. I didn't see you come in. I'm sorry. I'm glad you guys like my laugh. It's a good thing because I can't really control it. So I just laugh all the time. Okay. So let's let that dry. And while that's drying, let's go in and work some more on the hair because the hair around the face really needs to brighten up. We're going to get rid of all of those black outlines. It's going to take us a while. We may not finish this in this stream. That's okay. Let's just get done what we can get done today. And so I'm just mixing in the yellow ochre and the titanium white together, and we're just making a light yellow mixture here. I was using white before, but I think I'm just going to go ahead and just go in with the color I really want. Just kind of skip the pencils. And this is really watered down, so I might need to go over it again. Now we have burnished in some areas here on the hair, so it might look watery. I mean, it might look a little splotchy rather, because it beads up. In that case, you need to mix in less water Now, we may just have to go over it several times to get the right look. That's okay. So let's mix in less water and see how this looks. And I'm not worried about being super precise. If you go over areas or, don't stay on the outlines exactly, yeah, it's still too watery. That's okay. This is your page. You do what you want. So, as Dee Dee would say, you're the boss of your color book. So if you go outside, we can color outside the lines. Totally fine. The key here, I'm just trying to soften up those dark, harsh lines and make them less noticeable. I think I saw the chat move out of the corner of my eye. Hold on one second. Kathy, that's a great challenge. So I do something similar, but mentally in my head, I love to, when I'm out and about, I love to just look at a color and think, what pigments, because I know my paints really well, what pigments would I use to mix that color? And I play like that. What's that color game? Like some people play the license plate game. I play the what's that color game while I'm driving around or while I'm walking around. So fun. Any kind of color matching game like that really does test your skills and your ability to match color. It's a great idea. Okay, so we have this white paint from earlier. That's fine. I'll go over that as we go with some darker colors. Right now I'm just trying to get a better sense of, and that can be light up there because it's closer to the light source, although let me just kind of soften some of this out. Let's see, can you see? I'm sorry, I'm out of camera. Good morning, Kenny. Hello. Oh, yeah. Oh my gosh. Everybody's dinos. This buddy color is amazing. I'm sort of intimidated. I really haven't gotten that far with mine yet. And now I'm like scared to, guys. You're like so good. And Sammy's dino. Oh my gosh. And a bunch of people on Instagram have been posting dinos. Oh my gosh. You guys. That page is so scary. But I love it. I love a good challenge, so I'm gonna go for it anyway. Because I'm weird. That's okay. So this really is starting to help it look more blonde and less, the contrast of the black outlines. If this were darker hair, that would be, would be less noticeable. It wouldn't be as big of a deal. But with this light color hair, I really did set myself up for a challenge here because this is a lot of line work. But that's okay. We're going to get through it. So this is a question that people ask a lot. And there's so many ways to go about this. Like I said before, if you have a Posca pen and you want to do that instead, there's nothing wrong with that. I'm just using the acrylics because I feel like this is less often shown on camera. I don't think I've seen people doing this yet on YouTube. So I figured I would just show my technique because I've been doing this a lot lately. I'm using acrylic paint in my books. And I just love it. Okay, Kenny. Enjoy. Get that coffee. Me too, Sammy. I love seeing the Dino Buddy colors. Well, actually, I love just looking at my Instagram all the time. It's we were talking about this earlier. It's like a time suck. I can just get lost for hours if I'm not careful looking at people's stuff. It's so fun. The coloring community has so many different, like everybody has a different coloring style, and it's so amazing to see how many people come up with a different interpretation of a page. I think that is so much fun. It's like everybody has their own take. All right, Heather. Moving along, huh? Hi, Tiffany. Thank you for lurking. Oh, sorry about the doggy barking. That's outside, my next door neighbor. Getting all the morning sounds. All right. Add a little bit more white in there just for this highlight area. And you can see it's not a, for the hair, it's not as important to get a perfect match. We're looking for a similar value, but if there's lines showing through, that doesn't bother me as much on the hair as it does on the face. But I'm just trying to soften those outlines so that it's not so harsh. It looks more painterly because it's paint. Okay, sorry, bad joke. But yeah. Really, really fun. Oh, thank you, Tiffany. That was so much fun to do. Okay, so an area of the hair that's bothering me right here is this part line because it's going from the dark to abruptly a bright color. So let me just fix that up because, I don't know, I just like to address problems as they come up. That way I don't have to remember. So I'm using burnt sienna into the mix that's already on my brush. Not really. Oh, you know what? There's some blue in there too. Let's mix in some blue. So let's do blue, burnt sienna, and then whatever was already on my brush. Yeah. Yeah. Heather is not painting her own coffin, guys. Don't worry. So I'm just going in and softening up that transition between the white and the part here. And because I like this sandy brown color I mixed up, I'm just gonna go ahead and use that for the part. So anywhere where it's dark in that part, I'm just gonna gently lay in some of this color. So you can see I'm avoiding the light areas, just going in this really dark spot. Oh my goodness. This is so much fun. I mean, I know that it might seem tedious, but honestly, once you surrender and just like, you know, given, you know, you need patience for it, but once you surrender to that, I don't know, it's so relaxing. Just meditative, you know, you don't really have to think too much. Okay. here's a dark area here. So I'm just going through the darker spots. Oh, thank you, Heather. I'm so glad then that I didn't do it off camera. If you guys are enjoying it, that's all that matters to me. And I'm sorry I made some people panic. I did not mean to. You know, it's just, I don't know what's boring and what's not to watch, you know? Like, I think watching myself is boring. I don't do it. But I'm aware that, you know, some people really want to see, and that is awesome. Just because I don't like watching myself doesn't mean other people. So, yeah, and people can speed up the videos too. They can fast forward them. Okay, that's much better. Not perfect, but we're getting there. Oh, good. I'm glad you like it, Joe Beth. Uh-huh. It is a great idea. Welcome back, Kenny. Got your coffee in hand, I'm guessing? So we're just going through even the dark outlines. Instead of just leaving them black, I'm just using this dark sort of, oh, am I in camera? Yeah. Dark, like sandy, muddy brown kind of color. Okay, now the area that's bothering me is this spot. Because, you know, my eye, I go wherever my eye jumps to. Let's fix this really quick. Okay, so I'm running out of moisture. Let's just go ahead. I'm going to spray my palette again with this mister bottle. And washing off my brush so it stays wet. Okay, now I'm going to mix in some yellow into my sort of muddy slate brownish, I don't know what to call that, mixing in some yellow. So the palette's a lot more watery because we just threw some mist in there, so I'm just adding some more color to it. Oh. And here we go. So that's about the color I'm after, I think. Oh. Oh yeah, no problem, Tiffany. This is just a really cheap number 8. I don't know if you can see. This is a Royal and Langnickel. It's just a really cheap golden Taklon craft brush. So it's a number 8. You can use a smaller brush if you want. I just like how much this guy holds, and it comes to a nice point. So it's a fairly new brush, and I quite like it. Not expensive. I think I got the whole set on Amazon for fairly cheap. So I can put that in the description below at the end of the video. Just give me like a little time and I can collect all the links for everything. So yeah, come back like tomorrow or something and I'll have it all done for you. But yeah, it doesn't matter what, the trick is just using a golden Taklon brush, I think. They're very flexible and great for lining stuff. But yeah, you can use any brush that you prefer. Okay, so now this lighter area here, I'm going to... Oh, thank you, Jody. You got it, Tiffany. Hi, Amanda. How you doing? Okay, so now we're going to mix in. We've got this Naples yellow hue, and let's just mix that right on in to this muddy color. We're going to do this for the transition areas, so this here, and normally I would rotate the page, but I'm trying to keep it straight up and down for you guys. But if you need to rotate the page to make your hand comfortable, please do. Let's use this color. I really like it, actually. We're going to use it just over here where I can see the lines coming through again. Let's just sort of touch up. When I find a color I like and I've mixed it up and I'm done with it, I tend to find other spots on the canvas or the page that I want to use it. That creates a lot of color harmony when you're using the same colors in different spots. Oh, I'm off camera? No, I'm not. Okay. Gosh, that's why I'm zoomed out, because I just zone out when I'm doing this. It's so meditative, so relaxing. Easy to get caught up and just forget what you're doing. Okay, I need more on my brush. Just grab some more of that. Love this color, so let's do it. So that's why I jump around a lot. I think it's mostly because I just sort of use what I have at that moment that I really like. Let's mix a little bit of white in. Pumpkins! Yes. I mean, technically you're allowed to color them all year round, Amanda. Don't let any season dictate to you what you do with your artwork. But yeah, it's a lot easier to get them this time of year for sure. Oh, hello, Abs. You want to come sit on my chair? Okay. Abby has this thing about sitting right behind me, so like now I'm scooched up real far forward on the chair just so she has room. Yeah, I get that. Get you in the mood for Halloween. Alright, so slowly getting there. You can see this is going to take some time, guys. But that's okay. Okay, let's use this color up here. This yellowy, muddy brown color that I mixed up. Okay, you gotta let me sit on my chair though. Oh my goodness, kitty. Oh, she's like pushing me around. She's like, this is my chair. Cats are so funny, aren't they? Oh my goodness. She's something else. Now I'm using almost pure white here just to work in these highlights. It's just got a little bit of Naples yellow and that messy mud color that I had mixed in. And now I'm going to mix in some more Naples yellow. And let's go back in to this little transition area here. Starting to take shape. It's going to take a while, but let's do a couple little fixes over here. Like that. Okay, she's coming together. Oh, it's hot there. Rain, hot. Oh my goodness. Oh, I agree. I love the sound of rain. Okay. So now I'm looking at the face. Now that it's dried, everything is dry. Yep. So there's some areas where we didn't quite match the color perfectly. That's totally okay. Let's go in and do that and just let's try and get that face as close as we can to the way I want to do it. And then since now that we have all of this to do here, but you've seen the technique up here as to how I'm going to do that. But let's do that face because that's just something that I think is trickier. So I'm going to mix up. We're using burnt sienna again and titanium white. Let's swatch this. Okay. So some areas are a little too light and some areas are a little too dark. It's okay. No big deal. You got this. And this will get easier the more you do. It's a lot about just training your eye to see what color you need. So if you need to go over it more than I do, that's okay. Keep in mind I've been painting for like 30 something years now, so if I struggle with it still, then it's not an easy task. So please go easy on yourself and don't be hard on yourself. And like we always say, don't compare yourself to other people, compare yourself to yourself. So as long as you're improving and learning and growing, that there is the key. Because if you just keep on that path, you're going to be amazing. And to be honest with you, for me, especially with coloring, I think the reason I love it so much is I'm not focused on the end result. I'm really focused on just enjoying the process and having fun. And if you're doing that, then you're not doing anything wrong at all. Doesn't matter how it looks at the end. So please go easy on yourself. People get so hard. on themselves when they don't do a perfect job. Nobody's perfect. We're all human beings. We're all learning, making mistakes. That's part of the process. And I think it's a good part of the process. I used to hate it, when I'd mess up. But now through all the years of messing up, I realize that's how I've gotten better. I mess up and then I'm like, oh, I'm not going to do that again. So I think embracing it and enjoying it instead of worrying about if you've got to make it perfect, I think that there is the key to being happy. As long as you hold yourself accountable, okay, I made that mistake, no big deal. But no need to beat yourself up about it. I'm not sitting here crying over this that it doesn't look perfect. No. Thank you, Joe Beth. Oh, take care, Karen, and thank you again for the super chat. I really appreciate it, and it will definitely go towards the channel equipment. So thank you so much. I hope you have a beautiful day. Let's see. Oh, thank you, Amanda. I really believe it, though. I'm not being sweet. I'm just telling it like it is. So many people, they expect perfection on the first go, and unfortunately, art is really tricky, and what we're doing here is art. I don't care what anybody else says. Coloring is art. And art is not easy, so we've got to pack a little patience there with ourselves. Otherwise, you get hung up on, oh, I didn't do this right, and then it's discouraging. And when you get discouraged, you just don't have as much fun. You might not do it. You might put your paintbrush down and never pick it up again. And that would be the failure right there. That would be the tragedy, is if you give up on yourself before you even get started. So it's not me being sweet. I just truly believe with all of my heart that that anybody can learn. I've been saying that for years, and it just takes some practice. So okay, need a little more white mixed in for this spot. So yeah, already the circles on her face are looking much less dramatic. And I can deal with these here. This looks like scales or something. I like that. That doesn't bother me. But what bothered me was how harsh they were and how they sort of took your attention away from her eyes and her face, which I think, I think that bothered me. But now it doesn't bother me. I'm just adding a little bit of highlights in while I'm over here. Have this color, and also just sort of change her facial expression just a little so she's less sad looking, a little bit happier. So I'm doing that by just turning up just the very corner of her mouth, sort of like a Mona Lisa type thing. Like a little secret smile she's got. So I'm going to take the burnt sienna, and you can see it's just on the very tip here. I just have the pure burnt sienna. I'm just gonna take that color and just sort of turn up that end of her mouth just a little bit. It just makes her look a little less sad. Not a whole lot. If I make a Awesome, Amanda. Yeah, and it's one of those things, we're our own worst critics too, I think. We get so down on ourselves, and then it's funny, I'll look back at my work and I'll be like, oh, that's horrible, but other people love it. And I think it's just that we see our own progression. We know we can do better. We want to do better. So I think we're just hard on ourselves about it. But really, there's no need to be difficult with yourself. I try to treat myself like I would treat a friend. Okay, so to add a little pink into that spot that we just did, I'm mixing titanium white and the quinacridone red, or the quinacridone crimson, I think is what they call it. Just introducing some highlights right there. So if you've gone a little overboard and you need to lighten up an area, you can use acrylic paint as well. I love that. Just such a versatile medium. Just softening up. Okay. I think, let's see, what time is it? Yeah, we're getting close to finishing for my time slot here. So I think before we go, let's just add some more detail into the eyes. So I'm going to take my cerulean blue right here and just mix in a little of that burnt sienna. And let's go in and just right around the dark area of the eye, I just want to soften up these little lines here. Okay, let's zoom in. Let's zoom in. Okay. So she's got like these dark outlines, and I've kind of gone over it already with pencil and softened it with the pencil. Well, let's just soften a little bit more. Okay, well now I'm just doing something else. Sorry guys. Okay. And then let's do that over here with this area right here. Just soften that a little bit. Make it a little less harsh. And I want to add a little bit of pure cerulean blue, just straight from the tube, right under this bit of her eyelid. Now you could do this with pencil, but since I've got my paints out already, let's do that over here too. Okay, that just punches up the color a little bit. Hey, I cover things with black paint all the time too. There's nothing wrong with that. Okay, so next episode what we're going to do is we're going to keep going. We'll see how this dries, and we'll work on her eyelashes, and then the rest of the page. Thank you guys so much for joining me, and if you have any questions about acrylic paint, we're going to keep going on this next week. So definitely, we have plenty left to do. So if you have any questions, please do ask them in the next stream. I'm happy to cover anything you guys want to know. Thank you so much, Leslie. Thanks for staying up, and I hope that you sleep well. Oh, it's my pleasure to stream. I love streaming with you guys. Thank you, Heather. Okay, let's do a shout out. Who's in the chat? We've got Kenny, Amanda, Sahara, Leslie. We've got Heather, Shannon. Oh, hi, Shannon. I didn't see you here. Thanks for popping in. And to all the lurkers, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope that you enjoyed this. And catch you next week for another installment. Now, before we go, I have a couple of announcements. We have a video premiering tomorrow at 1 p.m. my time. That's already in my YouTube channel uploady area, so you can go check that out tomorrow. I'll be there in the chat to chat with you guys during that premiere. And then we also have a live stream happening on Thursday. So we have a busy week this week. Thursday will be the medals page, and that will also have a free giveaway, so you guys can grab another one of my coloring pages for free. So that's it for my announcements for this week. Hi, Joe Beth. Thank you. Tiffany, Starbuck, Kathy. Oh, you guys are awesome. And I know that there's a whole bunch of other people here earlier, like Sammy. So thank you all so much for coming. And I hope that you have a wonderful day. And yeah. All right. Well, have a great one. Bye.